In this video I got the opportunity to overnight fish a set of private pools that very rarely get fished. These pools hold a wide selection of carp, ranging from about £2 all the way up to £30. Now of course there's not many 30-pounders in there, there's about one, but the question is, can we catch it in this video? The pools were set deep in the countryside by an old hall and the scenery was absolutely beautiful. I ended up arriving quite late in the evening, so I set the rods up at about 6 PM and got fishing from then on. So let's get right into it. So I've been given access to this pool right behind me here. There's a pool behind me and there's a pool down there to my right, and I'm going to be night fishing this place. So far everyone's caught about 15 carp altogether, and that's within 1 hour. I've just come along and set both my rods up and I'm going to get catching some fish now. Of course I didn't catch this fish, but this is the first fish I witnessed getting caught today. First fish on whilst I've been here. It's not my fish, but Arnie's got one on. That was really quick. It was like 10 minutes after I set both my rods up. Get this one in the net then. He's a nice mirror. Oh, he's sped off. This fish was playing around a lot and it was having none of it. Whilst we was trying to net it, it sped off, and just like that we'd lost it. Oh, we had a lovely mirror carp on, but sadly he's off the hook now. He snapped off. Still awaiting on my 2 rods to go off. I'm sure they will soon though. The sun is now starting to set behind me. Absolutely wonderful sunset that is. Fingers crossed the carp will come out tonight. There's still a lot of fish jumping on the surface. One's just jumped right there under that tree, and there's just tons of fish jumping all over. I've bought my pole for in the morning as well, just in case I get bored of catching the big uns and I want to catch some little skimmers or whatever. But we've got to work on catching the big uns soon. I'm hoping middle of the night I get woke up by a bite. Now this isn't the middle of the night, but Arnie had caught a fish and I didn't even know about it until I strolled by and he had one in his hand. Here we are then, out the blue, Arnie's just caught this beautiful little common carp. That's the first one of the session. Now that's only a small one, but there's some massive ones up here, going up to 19 pounds I think. So yeah, that's the first fish I've seen. Let's slip this one back in then. We caught this on a boilie, so no wafters today. I've been looking forward to coming here all day because I haven't been night fishing in over like 10 months I'd say, and I did used to absolutely love going night fishing. I didn't go often. I went about two or three times. I blanked every time as well, but it's just a nice feeling about fishing all night. I've got a feeling we'll end up catching the pond monster tonight. About an hour went by and no pond monsters came out. In fact, nothing came out, and it had started to go really dark really fast outside. Well, right now, as you can see, it's very dark behind me. You can barely see me on the camera even, so I'm going to put the camera up for the night, and if I get any action in the night I'll pick it up. So I'll see ya hopefully when we've got a fish on. Luckily I got to pick the camera up again because we had a fish on pretty soon. A fish decided to bite and the alarm ran off, and I had my first fish of the evening on. Here we go then. It's 10 PM at night and I've got a fish on. I don't know if you can see very well, but he's putting up a decent fight. I don't know what it is. It's probably a neat little carp. I'm not sure how I'm going to land this thing because he's really far out and I cannot see a thing. Here we are then guys, the carp's just come right in. He looks like a nice little common. I think we've caught him on the boilies though. Yeah, he's a small little common carp, but for the size of him, he put up a nice little fight. Let me pause it here. This fish must have been fighting a bit too hard and I was gutted because he snapped off, and it was my first fish of the evening. Oh no, he's off. No! Well guys, that was the first bite of the night and we had him right in. Somehow I managed to lose him. We was about to get him in the net as well and he just slipped off. It was the hooks that was on that rod. They're not my rods by the way, they was someone else's, but they let me have the fish. So yeah, hopefully my rods go off because on my rods, I'm telling you now, I won't lose them. I wasn't used to them rods, they're alien to me. Oh well, you win some, you lose some I guess. But before you knew it, someone else had a fish on. The fish are coming out now. We've got another fish on and it's about 10:30 maybe. Fish is right down there in the snags. I don't know if you can see him. He's there, come on. Yes! There we go, first fish of the night on. Here we are then, first fish of the night. He's really small common to be fair. He's about 2 or 3 pounds. For such a small fish though, he put up an amazing fight. Get him back in the water now.
There we go, he's gone.
I think the reason that they're so good in this pool, like they fight so hard, is because it never gets fished. It's pretty much a private pool on private land. I've been granted special access to it though. But yeah, there we are. That was the first fish of the evening landed. Hopefully there's many more to come in the dead of the night. I wasn't wrong when I filmed that clip. We had loads later on in the evening, including this one you see him right now. He was about a 4-pound common carp and he was a lovely catch and release. And then after that, they just kept on coming and coming. We couldn't stop catching them. The evening was starting to pick up drastically. And then finally, my rod went off and I had one hooked. So guys, it's about 11:30 now and I've got a fish on and he's pulling like mad. This guy feels like he's putting up a big fight. He may very well be one of the bigger ones in the pond. I doubt he is though, because all the fish in this pond seem to put up a nice fight. It's because it barely gets fished, as I said earlier, and the fish are just like hard fighting, I guess. He's coming in close now, this fish is. I don't know how big he is. I haven't really got a glimpse of him yet. Right by me though. Let's get him in then. He's right here. Get him in the net. I don't want to lose another one. I've already lost one this evening. Hopefully this one will get in the net right now. He's up on the surface now and there we go. He's in the net almost. Yes, we netted him. Here we are then. This is my first fish of the session. Got a lovely little mouth on him. Don't say little, it's massive. Here we are then. Look at this absolute beaut. He looks really nice because of the lighting we've got on him, and he's got a massive mouth, as I said. Just look at that. But there we are. We'll get him back in the water now. Let's get this big net in the water then, and hopefully get the fish out first try, because tonight we've been struggling to get him out the nets, but he seems to be an easy one, so off he swims. And I was starting to get lucky now, because I had another fish on straight away. I'm in. Here we are then, I'm on to my second fish of the night now. Third one in fact, but this one's within 5 minutes of having the last one, so I'm doing pretty well if you ask me. He feels like a slab of a fish as well. He come out of nowhere, alarm went right off, and he's right down there in the margins, not that you can see on the camera, but he's decent. This fish is going for it. He's proper bending the end of the rod. Get him in the net now. He's a small one putting up a really good fight. That's all he is. And he's in. He's a small beaut in here he is. Look at that belly on him. Beautiful little spine there and all. Here he is then, guys. He's only a really small one. I'd say 2 or 3 pounds, 4 max. But he put up such a good fight. I thought he was one of the 10 pounders of the pond. Nice one there. Here he is then. Let's get him back in the water. Send him back off. Oh, he splashed me. I've had 2 buttes now. I've lost one and I've caught 2 in about 10 minutes. So the fishing's really picking up now and it's just about to hit midnight. Maybe tough to see, but we've got a fish on here. Struggling to get him in the net because the water's so shallow in this point. And the net keeps getting stuck on something, but we do have a fish just right there. After some serious playing with that fish, he went underneath the margin and we had to hand line him in basically. The net fell off, sunk, we got that, and we basically had to hand line the fish in. So that was a bit of an awkward experience, but we've got the fish on the floor behind us. Look at him on the mat there, he's actually a pretty big carp, and he was the one we had to hand line in, so yeah, we're lucky to have caught him. That's like the 5th or 6th fish of the night, I've lost count now, but he's in the net right there, I mean the mat, sorry. I'm gonna just release him now. There he is, big slab of a carp, probably the biggest one of the night. Nice. Off he swims. So far so good for the evening. It's currently just about to hit midnight. And we're doing really well if you ask me. We've caught about 6, maybe 7. I've lost count, you guys all know though. But we've had a nice session overnight. I'm not sure what time we're going to get in the bivvy. But I'd say we're going to give it another 2 or 3 hours out. We'll probably go in at 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 6. So yeah, I'm going to get barely any sleep tonight. But yeah, hopefully we get catching some big uns maybe. While we were waiting for the big uns, we sat around and had a laugh. And then it got a bit late for my liking, so I went and sat in the bivvy. Well, I'm in the bivvy now. And it's just gone 1 o'clock in the morning. And we've still not caught anything else. We've had a few small takes, but nothing major. So I think the fishing's died off for the evening. We could get woke up pretty early hours in the morning with a bite. But the chances are slim. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my head down now, get some sleep. And hopefully get woke up by a fish. If I don't see you with a fish though, I'll see you when it's bright and early in the morning. I managed to get my head down for an hour, if that, until we had another fish on. But this one was worth waking up for, because he was definitely the biggest one we've caught whilst I've been there. It's the dead of night, about 3 AM. We've got a fish on here. Came out of absolute nowhere, the alarm started running off. But yeah, seems like a decent carp. This is what we're looking like. He's a pretty nice mirror. He's the first mirror we've had all night, pretty much, I think this guy is. And look at him, he's got a right belly on him. Hold on a second here, guys. I've just come and lifted my rod here and I've got a big fish on. He seems pretty lifeless. He must have been on a while and I've not even known, but yeah, I'm fighting something currently. Major false alarm. That was a massive branch that I had on. Anyway, enough about my massive branch. I've got a mirror carp here. Well, Arnie's got a mirror carp. So for this fish, he woke us up at 3 AM. Not too bad if you ask me. Not too shabby. We would have weighed this guy, but we've lost the scales. So we'd say he's around about a 10 pounder. He was nice. Off he swims. Well, we've done alright with that carp at 3 AM. I guess he was worth waking up for. We're going to get back to sleep now, and hopefully we'll get woke up by another one. We had loads more on this evening, and when Arnie tried to wake me up for all of them, I just pretended like I was fast asleep because I was shattered. I'm one of those who cannot function on half a night's sleep. But it was finally the morning. The temperature had definitely picked up as it was very bright and warm outside, and I woke up to a nice surprise of Arnie showing me all the fish he caught. It is now the next morning. We had a rough night's sleep. We kept catching fish every few minutes. I slept right through it though. I think we may have had about 6 more in the night, but I just stopped filming them if I'm being honest. I was so tired. It's now the morning, the pond's looking beautiful. It's not as cold as it was in the night, it got freezing. But I'm going to bring my rods in, rebait them and get them back out. And yeah, we're going to catch some more fish this morning. Arnie on the other hand, he's been night fishing all night and he's caught quite a few. Over the last 2 hours I'd say he's had about 4 and he's kept them in the net here. Look at them. So here's the 4 he's caught over the last couple of hours in the night. This one's a full scale mirror, it's an absolute beauty. And then there's just 3 commons here. They're all nice fish though. We're just going to do an absolute mass release of these fish. 4 carp going in at once, off the trot. That's it. So I've just brought my 2 rods in for the first time in a long time. One of my hooks was snapped off, so I must have had a fish on at some point. And I just didn't know about it. But I've got the method feeder here, and I've got these pop-ups. So I'm going to pop a boilie on them today. Here's the rig I'm using then. I've got ground bait in the feeder, and then I'm using a pink boilie pop-up, so it'll float in the water above the ground bait, just like that, I'd imagine. But I've never used them before, so I want to see how well they do. And then for my second rod, I'm just going to be sticking with the wafters. So I've got one of the red ones on the hair thing there. I don't know what they're called. It says on the packet, but I forgot. It's like a spike or something. And I'll load this one up with a bunch of your ground bait to get it casted. We're only going to go in short with this one, just in the margins here. This is where I had my one last night on my rod, so I'll just get it back out there. That's my setup back out then. So this morning we've only got about an hour and a half left at the pool, since we've got to go back to do things. And I suppose that was the point in coming night fishing, to catch them all in the night, which we definitely did do. Well, I've just had a stroll over to the other side of the pool, and there's like a little walkway here into the second pool. Now I'm not going to be fishing the second pool today. There's some massive fish in this one, so if I ever do come here again, I'll fish this one. The scenery is absolutely gorgeous. Just look at that. Hilly, beautiful. And I'm genuinely so glad to have been able to fish them. They're two private pools and they never get fished. So yeah, got very lucky fishing these. But I'm going to go back down there to my rods. Hopefully my alarms will go off, and I'll get a couple more carp before we end up leaving. And by the sounds of things, Arnie's been catching them all morning, so I should get a couple. Speak of the devil, he had another one on. So Arnie's had another fish on. It's a nice little common. I think this fish has been caught 20 times already today, but he's lovely stuff. There he is, beautiful fish. Off he goes. In case you were wondering about that branch I caught last night, here it is. I got it unsnagged this morning. It's nothing major, but it put up an amazing fight, that branch did. It's now that time of the session where I've got to start packing away. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my rod pods in and everything, and I'm just going to leave my rods out because I really want to get one more fish. That's my rod pod away now. I'm just going to sit and watch my rod for the last 15 minutes. They're just on the floor there, so I'll definitely know about it if I have a bite. They'll start pulling in. And it weren't long before I had one on. The rod genuinely did nearly go in, but luckily I caught it in time, and the fish I had on put up the fight of a lifetime, and it was definitely the biggest one I caught today. Finally, after hours of waiting, I've got a fish this morning. Took its time to bite, but yeah, it's well worth it. He feels like a big one. He's just surfaced and he's not a big one. I'll stop myself there because he was 100% the biggest one I caught today, and he definitely wasn't small. Oh well, it's still a small carp, but he's putting up a nice fight, so let's get this thing landed real quick. It's probably going to be one of the last fish of the session unless my black rod decides to go off. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy the fight with this one a little bit. It's a gorgeous morning as well. It's about 20 degrees already, so lovely fishing this is. He looks quite big on the surface now when he's closer, but he looks small over there. We've just walked down here into this shallow section where we can net him easier. He's been fighting for 4 minutes now, it says on my camera. Go on. Yay. Got the fish landed. Here's my fish. He's probably the biggest one I've caught. I'd say he's about 7 or 8 pound maybe, and he put up an amazing fight, so we're going to weigh him now. Here we are then, look at him. He's an absolute stunner, to be fair. His head's proper big. I've never caught a small carp with a big head, so that's quite a nice change. And look at his little spine, his fin on the top. It looks chewed off by something. Funny looking fish, but he's cool and he's pretty big. Anyway, let's get this fish back in the water then. Off he can swim. Off he swims. Well, that's that then. I've got all my stuff packed away now. I'll tell you what though, what an amazing session it's been. I've absolutely loved night fishing this place. Such a gorgeous pool as well. That just makes it even nicer. I think we had at least 15 fish overnight. I didn't film every single one of them, but we had quite a lot. I just had to stop and film this play and go over really quick because it's very nice. Anyway, all good things must come to an end, so that's my session coming to an end. First time night fishing of the year, and it's been great. I've got to go home now though, so sadly it's got to end. But if I could do it all again, I'll come back here right away. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here, or you're just watching and you're not subscribed. Subscribe, please. Helps out the channel a lot more than you think. Turn on the notifications if you haven't already to never miss a video in the future. Become a member of my channel if you want. That's the link in the description. But for now, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.